Hello. What's your name?
Created with fully rendered graphics.
Come on, DK, doesn't this sound sweet?
No. Hiccup here, hiccup there, jumping jacks in the air.
By computer modeling from all sides and angles of the objects.
Yada. I'll be supreme ruler, all right? Let's go.
Easy, cause sometimes, DK, you...
Here it comes, banana slammer, Kongmas hero.
Ooh! Ah! Morning, what? Oh, Sir King! Ah!
You're gonna stop because that's what you do when you're faced with an irresistible force.
You're Donkey Kong, and this show's easy!
Here it comes, banana slammer.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Crusher Jack, and this is King S. Call.
Not even this show is throwing you off?
Would you prefer Jacked Kong and Skull Kong?
No, you have a point. Wait, have you been doing this intention?
Today, we're looking at Donkey Kong Country, the CG cartoon based on the video game series of the same name. A French-Canadian collaboration that was helmed by Nelvana, of all companies.
For those of you unfamiliar or feeling some kind of memory kick in, maybe this will help. Nelvana is a Canadian animation studio and generally a children's media company founded back in 1971. You'd know of them if you lived in Canada or grew up watching PBS in the States, though they had quite a lot of shows under their belt that didn't air on PBS. So there's that.
The forces of nature have spun wildly out of control.
Kind of weird how we're talking about a company most people would know as an edutainment studio off the top of their head. You could just say education, entertainment. I don't know why you would have this in the script like that.
Anywho.
The weird part, though, is this isn't going to be the last time we talk about them. What? We like what we watch from the show.
We'll get into it when it's time for that.
The people came for Conky Dong, and they'll get their Conky Dong.
All hail your new dictator!
No comment.
Don't you mean Kong mint?
Donkey Kong Country follows the day-to-day happenings of Donkey Kong himself on the island of Congo Bongo. Deemed the protector of the island and his fellow Kongs by the mystical Crystal Coconut, Donkey Kong must also protect the Crystal Coconut as well from the various villainous schemes hatched by King K. Rool.
King K. Rool, professional bad guy.
If you were expecting Skullman to keep talking for another minute and a half about the show's plot, well, I've got some bad news for you. That's it. That's the show.
This isn't to talk down to it or anything. It's just an episodic cartoon without an overarching main plot of any kind. It really does just boil down to what's happening on Congo Bongo on the given day. But don't worry, we've got a good amount of your standard cartoon plots in this show. Like, main character gets amnesia.
You're Donkey Rool.
Dumbest cast member suddenly becomes an evil genius.
Cute.
Cute?
Oh, it's cunning and all that.
The cast's biggest loser becomes insanely cool.
I'm every girl's dream, the picture of perfect. You know what I mean.
And It's a Wonderful Life.
Taking a few too many snowballs to the head.
Things different now.
Could you imagine if Mainframe Entertainment had gotten the chance to make this instead?
Man, Beast Wars, but it's just the Donkey Kong cast would go pretty hard. But we wouldn't have gotten the musical bangers we did, so I guess it's not all bad.
On that note, did you know Donkey Kong has two separate voice actors in this show? One for talking and one for singing.
Ready to rumble! I don't know what's happening to me.
And this isn't the case for anybody else in the show.
big hand and the little hand on the clock mixed up.
I like evil, lovely evil.
Nor is it the case in the French or Japanese dubs of the show.
It's almost like they could have done better on the casting. Then again, not everyone can be Benedict Campbell, who just kills it as K. Rool whether he's talking or singing.
They'll be spellbound. They'll run for cover.
Yes.
Yes!
And before you ask, yes, the Japanese dub does handle some of the songs.
Though it's kind of a shame that the show makes no use of any of David Wise's compositions. You'd think they'd be able to use any of the music from the DKC games for this show without issue, but I guess not.
Speaking of stuff unused from the games, you think the Animal Pals would have made it in, or any of the other non-Kremling enemies.
According to a character reference, there were plans for 3 of them to make it in, but they got scrapped for unknown reasons. And if you look closely on this image, you can see an entirely different design for Candy Kong.
Good to know they had no plans of trying to have Candy look like she does in the video games.
I mean, you know what, we're just gonna move on. The other members of the cast who made it in from the games are Diddy Kong,
Bananas!
Cranky Kong,
He's a genius, 'cause I am, 'cause I'm cranky.
Dixie Kong,
I wish I'd seen it in their eyes.
Funky Kong,
Listen to Funky 'cause the words ring true.
General Clump,
No longer standing.
and Crusher.
I'm referred to as Crusher.
And joining them are a slew of original characters, like Bluster Kong,
I never work! Yes, well, I see your point.
who owns the barrel factory Candy works at and is constantly trying to steal her away from Donkey Kong, and Captain Scurvy, who acts as another villain for Donkey Kong and friends to deal with.
I'm doing the booty booty.
If the writers feel King K. Rool and his crew are getting too much use.
Then there's Inka Dinka Doo, a talking multi-faced stone totem who acts as a sort of divine being for the island and generally oversees it. He's tied to the Crystal Coconut and, by relation, Donkey Kong's status as hero of Congo Bongo. Oh yeah, there's this guy named Eddie the Mean Old Yeti.
Like snow. Me like ice.
He just lives in the mountains and doesn't like everyone. And that's it.
But what about Polly Roger the Parrot, Baby Kong, and Kong Fu?
Shut up, they aren't real.
But you know what is real? Everyone's reaction to being in a clip show.
Why did I use up my best material on this shit?
Fun fact, that's the last episode. Or at least, the last produced episode.
I'll be back.
These were all aired in a different order on Fox Kids, apparently. But whether it be a DVD release or a streaming service, they go off of the production order.
Just like that other Nelvana show we watched.
Don't lose control. It's time to make it.
That is a different and more extreme case that we'll get to. But it was also on Fox Kids. At any rate, we're not going to talk about the feature-length movie.
Why not?
Because as it turns out, it was just 4 episodes stitched together. Nelvana really thought they were clever.
We've been name-dropping Nelvana pretty often, but maybe we should talk about the other 2 studios involved in this show, such as Media Lab, the French animation studio who were initially producing this series entirely on their own. Probably would have stayed that way had they not had writers who relied solely on racist and sexist jokes. With 10 storyboards made from these scripts, Media Lab brought in Nelvana to try and salvage this disaster. And salvage it they did. From that point, Nelvana took over writing for the remainder of the show.
You might be wondering what happened with show ownership since it's clear Media Lab were the ones with the rights to the show. Well, they lost them. Nelvana, however, swung in and not only secured the rights, but got backing from Fox to have another season made. And this brings us to my least favorite part of the cartoon.
Ah! What just happened?
You may have noticed in all the clips we've played that some character models look very different at times. And that's because for the final season, whether you call it season 2 or 3 is up to you, another studio got brought in. Hong Guang Animation, a very real studio, were called in to assist with the CG. Media Lab would do all the motion capture work, because fun fact, this show was dominantly animated with motion capture, and Hong Guang would then handle the rest of the work.
The show also got nominated for an Emmy because of the motion capture animation.
Look into the mirror, it never lies.
But the TV Academy didn't recognize motion capture as a proper form of animation at the time.
Because of course they did. And so my hatred of award shows continues to be justified.
Oh, wait. Huh? There's Kojima, look.
Hong Guang, for their part, decided to sweeten the deal by trying to make improvements to some of the character models. They look smoother and have more vibrant colors, but if you ask me, it's a bit of a downgrade.
We were never going to get K. Rool's bulging bloodshot eye in a kid's cartoon, but there's times one of his eyes will bulge, so someone understood the assignment.
Well, it's that time again. Overall, I like Donkey Kong Country. It's harmless, dumb fun, but it's entirely earnest in its efforts. If you like Donkey Kong, early CG animation, spontaneous musicals,
No one's going to make a monkey out of me.
or just nostalgic for the time Donkey Kong could regularly get video games, this show is for you.
As we close out here, and for those of you who like the show and want more, we got some good news for you. A group of passionate fans made a music video centered around Captain Scurvy using Ailstorm's cover of Pirate's Scorn. Yes, that exact same Ailstorm you're thinking of. A pirate metal band covered a song from the show. That should tell you something. This same group would later make another video, this time calling in all the old DKC voice actors they could to make an entirely original song. Check out Curse of the Crystal Coconut and Return to Crocodile Island for more fun.
But wait, there's more!
YouTuber Uncle Al is slowly working on an abridged series for it. I personally recommend you follow him on YouTube and his gaming channel. Trust me, it makes sense in context, so we can continue to get these absolute masterpieces. There's also YouTuber Oh Milky Smile, who's been remastering the songs from the show and doing impeccable work with them.
Before we go, there's one last thing to do. Top 5 songs in the show. Go!
Let me think. Diddy Drop Rap.
I'm a reasonable, raving, derangeable despot.
My Finest Hour.
Have a nice vacation when I take your travel plans.
One of Us.
Listen here, what I make it clear. I can't believe you can't see what we see here.
We'll Always Be Friends.
I'm surprised we survived.
And Let Me Go Back to My Home.
Let me go back to my home. Without me, everything's all wrong.
Why am I not surprised most of those have King K. Rool in them?
Because he's the best and you know it.
As for me, in no particular order, I'm the Kung Fu Master.
He's so bad, he scares himself.
Metalhead.
My hand looks like aluminum foil.
My Finest Hour.
Everything is mine. I finally have control.
The Diddy Drop Rap.
You what? We'll trade like a stock exchange. Wheel and deal, how's that feel? It's a steal.
And Interplanetary Visitor Dudes.
They got gruesome pointy tongues they can stick in your ear.
Diddy Drop Rap really is just the best song in this whole show, even if Diddy sings in it.
You think we're going to see Diddy anytime soon?
Probably not. And would you look at that? Another tweet for the poorly aged Nintendo Hall of Fame.
Good night, everybody.
I will be back. You can count on it.
Whatever.
Man, fuck them kids, bro.